Subscribe to our channel by clicking the subscribe button. Click the bell button and enjoy the latest uploads from our channel.
Right, let go fore and aft and let me know when it's all clear of the water, please.
Let go aft, aye aye. Stair line gone and clear of the water. Forward the bridge, air line gone and clear of the water.
The ship is heading out to sea. A voyage begins. Her mooring system served her well in port, and now the wires and ropes are checked and stored ready for use when she next enters harbour. But the story is not as simple as that. The mooring system must work properly every time, no matter in what conditions it is employed, no matter how much work it had to do when last in use. Any damage suffered when it was last used must be put right. A lot of planning and hard work is required to ensure that the ship's mooring system is maintained in good working order.
Hello there, Dave.
Simon.
Today we'll be doing a rope inspection and a winch brake test.
This programme and the accompanying booklet will describe some of the most important tasks involved in mooring systems maintenance. Most ships operate a planned maintenance schedule, in line with the recommendations in the ISM system. Essentially, all winches, ropes, wires, shackles, stoppers. In fact, the whole system requires periodic inspection and maintenance. These are normally carried out during a deep sea passage. In most cases, winches are driven either by hydraulic or electrical power. Older ships may still have steam-driven winches, but they are now rare. During routine maintenance, check that the heave-in and slack-out markings are clearly visible on the control system. If not, remake the markings. Ensure that the clutch can engage smoothly and the control is adequately lubricated. Check that the connecting surfaces of the drive mechanism are free of wear. They should certainly not be worn at an angle, which could lead to unplanned disengagement under load. Inspect the condition of the drums and the gypsy head. The gypsy head's working surface should not be excessively pitted, nor corroded to avoid damaging the ropes. Winch foundations should be solid and secure. In addition, the condition of the hydraulic lines and their connections must be checked for possible leakage. Under no circumstances should you use your bare hands to do this. If there is a minor leak, this could damage your hand if spray is released at high pressure. Check the controlling valves for correct function. and verify that the hydraulic pumps are producing the required pressure. The electrical side of the hydraulic pumps should also be inspected periodically, especially the switchgear. Electrical systems must be isolated first and maintenance carried out under a permit to work. Servicing a DC electrical winch system involves checking the switch contacts and changing them if burned or worn beyond serviceability. Also, inspect the condition of the brushes at periods laid down in the company's service manuals. On deck, the motor bearings will need to be replaced at stipulated periods and the motor casing checked for accumulation of water. When these tasks are complete, check the winding's insulation resistance. For AC systems, only periodic insulation resistance checks are required on board. With all systems, particular attention must be given to the condition of the manual brake. The brake's holding power is severely reduced if the brake drum linings are subjected to moisture, oil, or heavy rust. Ensure that the winch is secured when examining brake linings. If you observe signs that oil has penetrated the brake linings, they should be replaced as soon as possible. Whenever the brakes are opened up, examine the drum for build-up of rust and worn brake material. Descale as necessary. As the brake is reassembled, check that all the linkages are moving freely and that they are lubricated adequately. The brakes must be tested as soon as the maintenance work has been completed and their certified holding value verified. Alternatively, if your periodic brake test is due, this should be carried out as per manufacturer's recommendations.
Okay, that's 210. Yeah, we're 210 miles. We come across here, 150 kilonewtons. We pass well within the pressure, everything's fine. So we'll just make a note. 10 bar.
When the time comes to replace a worn rope or wire on the winch, care must be taken to wind it onto the storage drum in the correct direction. A winch's brake system is designed so that the wire or rope will be held against the anchored end of the brake band. The payout direction is normally marked on the winch drum, so the correct direction can easily be verified. Wires should be taken off the drum periodically and thoroughly checked to ensure that they are adequately lubricated and that there is no build-up of rust between the strands. Often, the bottom layer of a wire can be severely rusted and the wire weakened even though the wire on the surface of the drum appears to be in good condition. Give the eye of the wire particular attention, especially if a shackle and tail are used with it. During use, the shackle may damage the eye by chafing or breaking some of the strands. Rotate ropes end for end periodically to ensure equal wear at both ends before a worn end is discarded. The ship's own maintenance schedule will indicate the correct period for this. Remember, for synthetic fibre ropes, stiffness, glazed surface and worn strands represent loss of strength. Wires are increasingly being replaced by high modulus synthetic fibre ropes. They compare favourably with wire for strength, weight and ease of operation, requiring little maintenance. However, they chafe more easily. These ropes require that the winches be modified to have fed split drum edges. The rope should also be fitted with chafe guards, either the jacket or the tube type. Their condition must also be checked periodically. Aramid fibre ropes have reduced abrasion and UV resistance, so periodic checks for deterioration are essential. Polyethylene ropes have low melting points, so these should be inspected for burn damage due to excessive friction. Shackles vary in design, and their correct fitting is dependent on the specific instructions of the manufacturer. Tonsberg shackles, as illustrated in this program, require the pin to be fitted through the eye of the rope tail. Other designs employ different methods. It is most important to ensure that all shackles are fitted and maintained correctly in accordance with manufacturer's instructions. In all cases, shackles must be inspected for wear and corrosion. They must not be overstretched or stretched out of shape, as this weakens them and may prevent the pins from being locked in position safely. A deformed shackle is a weak shackle and should be replaced. Do not attempt to reshape a deformed shackle, as it will not be as strong as it was when new. When nylon tails are used on wire lines, the eyes should be covered in proper chafing material to protect them from chafing. The condition of these and the rope itself should be checked. High modulus synthetic fibre ropes, having similar characteristics to that of wire, should also have tails fitted to add extra elasticity to the line. Check your line stoppers to ensure that they will function correctly. They must not be weakened, damaged or deformed, as these defects will prevent their effective use. Most ropes used for mooring purposes are made of synthetic fibre, nylon, polyester, or some combination of these. Polypropylene ropes should no longer be used for mooring. Ropes must be inspected after use for cuts and abrasions. Give particular attention to portions of the rope that have been in contact with fair leads. If more than 10% of rope fibres display signs of surface abrasion or other damage, the rope should be retired. Use the manufacturer's data sheets and recommendations for the rope under examination as a guide for further action. Store fibre ropes away from chemicals or chemical vapours, such as paint or thinners, as the ropes will suffer degradation, causing them to crumble.
Okay, enough.
Ensure that they are not exposed to sunlight more than necessary. Their periodic inspection should include the inner strands. If powdering between the strands is detected, this is a sign of reduced braking strength. If the rope has been spliced, the security of the strands in the splice should be double-checked. An element of surface chafing is acceptable on heavy load ropes, as this does not necessarily lower the rope's minimum braking load. All rope maintenance details should be added to the rope's own log of usage maintained on board. Equipment such as fair leads must have particular attention. Routine checks are carried out to ensure that fair leads rotate freely. the surface in touch with the wire or rope is smooth, and the rim is not damaged, reducing chafing of ropes to a minimum. Fairleads also need lubrication periodically. If they become too hard to turn or have stopped rotating altogether, they may be released with the help of a suitable pole and rope.
210 bar.
Okay.
In conclusion, your planned maintenance scheme should include checking that winches are on secure foundation and are operating freely, and their power lines are free from leaks. The electrical contacts within the mooring system are properly maintained, that the brake drums are free from grease or moisture, that the ropes or wires are wound on the winches in the right direction, and that the fairleads rotate freely. Their rims are not damaged, and that they are adequately lubricated. After the periodic inspection and maintenance are over, store the lines correctly. Replace the weather covers on the winches and make sure that the mooring system is ready for use at the next port. You may wish to see this program again, and you should look at the booklet which accompanies this video. For further information about mooring, consult the Code of Safe Working Practice for Merchant Seamen, issued by the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency, United Kingdom, and the Oil Company's International Marine Forum publications, Effective Mooring and Mooring Equipment Guidelines.